Chapter 4. The Power of Repetition. Forming habits that serve your highest self. Character and capability emerge not in grand, isolated moments, but through the quiet, persistent rhythm of repeated actions. Much like a path worn smooth across a field by countless footsteps, the qualities we wish to embody, steadiness of mind, kindness in interaction, discipline in effort, take shape when we perform small, related behaviors again and again until they feel natural and automatic. This principle stands as one of the most enduring insights into human nature. We become what we repeatedly do. Excellence arises not from a single act of brilliance, but from the steady cultivation of consistent practice. Ancient observers of life recognize that virtue and skill are acquired through habituation. Practical wisdom, courage, fairness, and self-mastery do not appear fully formed. They are strengthened like muscles through regular use. A person grows just by performing just acts, temperate by temperate ones, and steady by choosing composure repeatedly in the face of disturbance. Each repetition etches a deeper groove in the mind and will, making the desired response easier and more instinctive over time. Conversely, patterns we wish to diminish lose their hold when they are no longer fed by frequent engagement. Neglect weakens unwanted tendencies, while attention and action nourish empowering ones. This process reflects the malleable nature of human constitution. Our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors respond to repetition in profound ways. A sequence of mental or physical actions performed frequently tends to perpetuate itself, prompting us almost automatically under similar circumstances. What begins as deliberate effort gradually requires less conscious force, freeing mental resources for higher pursuits. The nervous system, in its remarkable adaptability, grows accustomed to the modes in which it is exercised. Movements or responses practiced regularly become smoother, more accurate, and less fatiguing. This is not mere mechanical routine, but the architecture through which character is sculpted. Consider the practical implications for daily living. Suppose you seek greater composure amid uncertainty. Rather than waiting for a perfect moment of calm, begin with small, repeatable acts, a brief pause and measured breath when tension arises, or a quiet reflection at the start of each day. Perform these consistently, and the response of steadiness becomes more readily available when larger challenges appear. The same holds for fairness in relationships. One deliberate choice to listen fully before responding, repeated across many conversations, gradually shifts your default manner from reactivity to thoughtful engagement. No dramatic overhaul is required, only the patient accumulation of aligned actions. The beauty of this approach lies in its accessibility. Anyone, regardless of starting point, can begin immediately with modest steps. If the aim is increased vitality, commit to a short period of movement or mindful nourishment each day at roughly the same time. The regularity itself builds momentum. Early repetitions may feel effortful, even awkward, yet continuity transforms them. Desire for unhelpful patterns fades when never reinforced, much like a path overgrown when unused. Meanwhile, constructive pathways widen and clear with each traversal. To apply this principle effectively, select one quality or behavior you wish to strengthen and identify a simple, repeatable action connected to it. For steadiness, the action might be pausing for 3 conscious breaths before answering in conversation. For persistence, it could be spending 10 minutes on a meaningful task, even when inclination wanes. Perform the action daily, ideally in a consistent context, upon waking, after a meal, or before rest. Notice the growing ease without harsh judgment on occasional lapses. The goal is not perfection on every occasion, but the overall direction of repetition. Small, sustained efforts compound far more reliably than sporadic intensity. Reflection deepens the process. At the close of each day, recall moments when the chosen action was practiced, and note any sense of increased naturalness. Where the pattern slipped, observe without self-reproach. Simply renew the intention for the following day. This gentle accounting reinforces awareness and prevents discouragement. Over weeks, the repeated behavior begins to feel less like a task and more like an expression of who you are becoming. Others may notice the shift before you fully do. A calmer presence, a more reliable kindness, a steadier commitment. Challenges inevitably test this work. Familiar contexts may trigger old patterns with surprising force. Fatigue, distraction, or unexpected events can interrupt the rhythm. In such moments, return to the foundational distinction of sovereignty. Focus on what remains within your power, the choice to resume the practice as soon as possible. View interruptions as information rather than failure. Adjust the action if needed, make it even smaller or anchor it to a reliable cue, and continue. The resilience built through resuming after disruption often proves as valuable as the habit itself. This power of repetition extends across all domains of life. In intellectual pursuits, regular engagement with thoughtful reading or reflection sharpens clarity and insight. In creative endeavors, daily incremental work accumulates into substantial output and refined skill. In relationships, consistent small gestures of attentiveness or gratitude weave stronger bonds. Even in solitude, repeated practices of self-examination or gratitude cultivate an inner environment of balance and appreciation. The principle remains constant. Character is revealed and refined in the small habits practiced day by day. Ancient wisdom further illuminates the mechanism. One thinker observed that excellence is not an isolated performance, but the result of habitual alignment with virtue. Another advised attending to personal improvement daily, finding satisfaction in each purposeful step. These insights remind us that progress stems from deliberate, ongoing effort rather than chance or fleeting motivation. The mind and will are shaped by the quality of our repetitions. Therefore, choosing them wisely becomes an act of profound self-stewardship. Importantly, this process does not demand rigid perfection or suppression of natural variability. Life includes seasons of greater and lesser energy. The key is continuity over long arcs rather than unbroken streaks. When a day passes without the intended action, the response is simple renewal rather than abandonment. Compassion toward oneself sustains the journey. Harsh self-criticism often undermines momentum, whereas patient recommitment strengthens it. As repetitions accumulate, profound shifts occur. Behaviors once requiring significant willpower become default responses. Mental energy, once consumed by internal conflict, is freed for creative or generous use. A sense of coherence emerges. Thoughts, feelings, and actions align more naturally with chosen values. This integration brings quiet confidence and a deeper enjoyment of ordinary moments. Life feels less like a constant struggle against inclination and more like an expression of cultivated character. The protocol invites experimentation within this framework. Choose a quality aligned with inner sovereignty, perhaps greater patience, focused attention, or courageous honesty. Define one micro-action, a kind word offered daily, 5 minutes of undistracted presence, or voicing a truthful perspective when silence would be easier. Link it to an existing part of your routine to increase likelihood of repetition. Observe over time how the pattern influences your overall experience. Adjust gently as understanding grows. No external measurement tools are necessary. Your own felt sense of alignment and ease serves as the truest gauge. Ultimately, the power of repetition reveals a hopeful truth about human potential. We are not fixed by temperament or past patterns. Through consistent, intentional practice, we can reshape our responses and, by extension, the quality of our days and relationships. This capacity for self-sculpting resides within everyone. The words here merely point toward it, encouraging you to begin or continue the quiet work of forming habits that serve your highest self. Everything needed for this transformation is already present. The ability to choose a small action, to repeat it with patience, and to renew intention after any lapse. Begin today with one deliberate repetition. Notice its effect, however modest. Carry the practice forward and observe how character quietly strengthens, capability expands, and life unfolds with greater harmony and purpose. The path is walked one step at a time, yet the destination is a self forged through faithful repetition.